Hi, and welcome to Dividing Integers, section 1.5. This is the activity section of Dividing Integers. And I took these screenshots from the book. What we're doing here is the essential question is the quotient. Remember, the quotient is the result of any division of two integers, positive, negative, or zero. How can you tell? So the first activity is dividing integers with different signs. In this case, you start with 15 negative counters, those are the red ones, and then you divide them into three groups. And you can divide them up. So if I pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I divide them into little groups of 5. So because there are 5 negative counters in each group, negative 15 divided by 3 is equal to negative 5. And we kind of know that. So working with a partner, you're going to rewrite the product of 3 times 4 is equal to 12 as a quotient in two different ways. So the first way, actually you can pause the video and kind of think about how these answers might be. Welcome back. So the first way, 12 is equal to 3 groups of 4. So basically what you're doing is you're taking the 3 times 4 is equal to 12 and you're rewriting it as 12 is equal to 3 groups of 4. And so when you put it in a division problem, it looks like this. 12 divided into 3 groups. In each group is 4. So the second way, basically you're swapping the 3 on the floor. 12 is equal to 4 groups of 3. So 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3. Okay, in the next activity, dividing integers with different signs, you're going to work with a partner and you're going to rewrite the product of negative 3 times negative 4 is equal to 12 as a quotient in two different ways. And what can you conclude from that exercise? So pause the video and think about how you would rewrite this multiplication problem into a division problem in two different ways. And then start to think about what happens when you are dividing integers that are negative. So pause the video and think about that for a little bit. Okay, welcome back. So the first way we can rewrite that multiplication problem is we can say 12 divided by negative 4. And we know from here that it has to be negative 3. So if we have a 12 and we divide it by negative 4, we get negative 3. The second way, where we would say 12 divided by negative 3, we know that the answer has to be negative 4. So in each case, when you divide so this is a positive integer, and the second one is negative, by negative integer, your result is a negative integer. So that's what happens when you divide integers that are two different signs. Okay, let's think about another example. So in activity 4, we're dividing negative integers. So the first number is negative. So working with a partner, we write the product of 3 times negative 4 is equal to negative 12 as a quotient in two different ways. And then what can you conclude from that? So pause for a minute and think about it. Welcome back. So negative 12 divided by, I think we're going to take the 3 first. We know that that has to equal negative 4. And the second way, we're going to take 12 and we're going to divide it by negative 4, and we should end up with 3. So when we think about what this really means, when we start thinking generically with just the negatives and the positives, think about what the integers mean. When you divide a negative integer, so that's this first one, by a positive integer, you get a negative integer. When you divide a negative integer by another negative integer, you end up with a positive integer. This should start to sound a little bit familiar to you. So let's think about this in a table, like we did with that other thing that I'm suggesting that this might be similar to. So if we take 12 divided by 4, and we're going to decide whether or not the signs are the same or different. So 12 divided by 4, the integers are the same, well, they're the same sign. In 12 divided by negative 3, they're different. In negative 12 divided by negative 4, they're the same. They're both negative. In negative 6 divided by 2, they are different. Negative 21 divided by negative 7, they're the same. And we can continue along this kind of this idea. 0 divided by negative 15. They're different signs because strictly speaking, 0 doesn't have a sign, 0, 0. So they are different. Now we want to get the answers to all of these division problems. So we can fill this in, and negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4. 12 divided by negative 4 is 3. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Negative 21 divided by negative 7 is 3, and so on. And 0 divided by anything is 0. So now we want to sort of put this together and say, okay, what happens if the signs are different? What sign is our quotient? So it's negative, it's positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, and so on, and 0, 0. So what kind of conclusions can we draw from this? Well, if the signs are the same, then your quotient is positive. If the signs are different, then your quotient is negative. It should sound something like multiplication. So in your own words, is the quotient of two integers positive, negative, or 0, and how can you tell? So, and then they ask you to write a general rule for dividing two integers with the same sign and two integers with a different sign. And this is Colin. Oh, no, I thought Colin was going to creep into the picture again. So from this table, I didn't really label it, but a positive integer divided by another positive integer gives you a positive quotient. Negative divided by a positive gives you negative. Positive divided by negative gives you negative. And negative divided by negative gives you positive. It's very much like multiplication. So that should be enough to get you started with your homework, and I'll see you later.